We're in. Welcome to the podcast, and you are welcome to the podcast. I thought last week's episode, it's called Spooky Prince. I thought last week's episode was the best.
Yes.
Which makes me think this one's not going to be very good. So maybe skip. This is episode 7, I think.
This
so maybe
is the
skip to
difficult
9.
second podcast after that one.
What is it with the word sophomore? Sophomore. What is it with that word, sophomore?
Well, you tell me. I haven't got a thing with it.
Well, do you know what it means?
Yeah.
What?
It means a newbie.
No, it doesn't actually.
A new female
It's
student.
it's second.
Okay.
Your sophomore year is your second year.
Oh, freshman, sophomore.
Yeah. But what does it? What is? I don't know what that is. We'll start the show in a minute. Hold the line, caller. I don't
It's
know.
American talk. That's what it is.
I know American, but I don't know where does it come from? I'm guessing Greek. Alpha, beta, kappa. They do that, don't they, at college? Sophomore. Is it Greek? What is it? What is it with you?
I don't know.
A lot of people. A clip of this show went viral last week. Got seen by over 1,200 people, and it was Katherine losing her temper
Very briefly.
at neurodiversity. It was a really interesting moment. I thought long and hard, do I share this? Because it paints my pal, my buddy, my partner, my bestie, in a bad light. And I thought, no, I will share it because she needs to be shamed.
I think it's important to show that it can be irritating for the partner.
People like her need
Put up with
to
too
be
much,
shamed.
if anything.
They need to be shamed and shown that what they are doing is unacceptable on every level.
Okay, but how about
Let's hear it back.
yeah, how about when you ask me to say something, you let me finish a thought? How about that? Yes, focus. That's what we want.
How about it? Welcome to the show. You are welcome to it. This is a free 30-minute podcast we do every week. How is this? How can you afford to do it for free? Well, because we have some awesome patrons. We've had a load of new patrons this week.
Good.
Say hello to Dave Keane.
Hiya, Dave.
To Matt Bishop.
Big up yourself.
Craig Fitzpatrick.
Craig.
Justin Gorman. Now, you're not... I'm sure I've asked Justin this before. You're not the Justin Gorman that produced Rise, are you? I've asked you that before, so the answer's no. Greg Head. Laura, who was the poet from last week's show, she's gone up
Justin Gorman says, yes, it's me.
No, it's not Justin at all. Is it? That's freaky.
Anna Live says Team Calf, just as an aside.
Liam Broderick and Chris Slater. And Laura's gone up. All right. Okay. Well, we'll hold fire for a bit, Justin, because you and I need to talk if it is indeed you. If you listen to the podcast, we're talking to the chat. We've got chat going here live. And don't you be afraid, Justin. Don't you be afraid, because my heart is pounding with joy. It turns out Justin Gorman was the producer of Back to Reality, which was the Channel 5 television show where they built a house inside a studio like Pinewood or Elstree, and they put loads of reality people inside the house, including Nasty Nick.
I think I watched it.
They got Richard Bacon to host it, not me.
Oh, Justin. What was that?
I mean, I know it's 20 years ago. No, that to one side, he produced Rise, the breakfast TV show I did, which I am reevaluating as being brilliant.
Okay.
For a long time, I've not been a fan of my TV work, and I was very, very ill when Rise was going on.
You've not even wanted to look at it.
No, I was a huge drug addict during Rise. It was wild. And I bought into it's not very good. And actually, I've uploaded some on YouTube. I've uploaded 2 or 3 episodes, and I've got about another half a dozen of them. And I've watched bits of it. I've not sat there watching the whole 3 hours. It was a good show. It was a good show.
Well produced, would you say?
What I will say about Justin is he put up with a lot of shit
Oh, Justin.
from me.
Oh, Justin.
And amends and apology is owed. My behaviour on the set was unacceptable. Just as your behaviour, Katherine, on the set. What makes your behaviour worse is this is in my house. This is in my house.
Okay.
You can leave any time you want. I can't.
Well, you could.
And I think I mentioned Liam, and I think we mentioned Yasmin last week. So okay, Justin is saying you never answered your phone on a Sunday. Proof it's me. All right, we're going to talk. Hold the line. When this nonsense finishes, we'll do the show for the... Anyway, this is the point I was saying. So the Patreons make this show free. It goes on for 3 hours. You're listening to 30 minutes of it. It goes on for 3 hours. Sign up to patreon.com/Iain and Katherine, IAIN and Katherine with a K. Go and have a look. If you're watching the video, scan the QR code. It's been one hell of a week. What's that face?
Oh, yeah.
You want to tell us about it? You want to tell the boys and girls about it?
You can go first.
I got limp microphone syndrome.
Oh dear. Well, while you sort that out, so back to school, week 2, and the computers are still not working. And I teach in a media school where we edit on computers and we put things on websites and we make radio that goes on the computer. So it's been a little bit tricky, but I came up with an ace lesson that I did both for the 12s and the 13s, so I'm going to call it a win. What we did was, because they're journalism students, I got them to listen to Uncanny. I know what
Danny
I
Robbins.
saw.
That guy works with dark, mysterious forces. He may be cute, good-looking, and charming. I don't know. I wouldn't trust him.
He reads the dark magic.
I wouldn't trust him.
So they listened to episode 4 of season 4. It's the American one, and it was a Bigfoot sighting. And I got them to make notes as we were listening. It's half an hour, so great silent time for teacher. They got to listen to that, take notes. And
it's like the equivalent of wheeling in the VHS,
yeah,
chained up.
Except I wouldn't trust the video to work in our place. So we watched that, we listened to that, and then they took notes and they made their own report. It's like... I'm sorry, I was just distracted by you twiddling with that.
For those listening to the podcast, this is also a vodcast. I'm twiddling with the VOD.
Yeah, just in case you were thinking of anything else. So they took the notes and they were reporting quote unquote live from the scene. It was brilliant. It was so funny. We had such a good time. And that was my win of the week. The rest of the time was extremely I'm just so tired because it felt like keeping all the plates spinning all the time and not letting the kids know that actually nothing works. It will work. And when it works, it will be glorious. But for the time being, they were busy.
And?
They do not have to master shorthand, no. They just have to write fast.
And to me.
And now tell me about you.
No. What do you say?
About what?
You say thank you, Iain.
Why?
Because I have bent myself to accommodate you. I've masked. You've basically...
Oh, you let me say a whole story.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. So you can do it then?
Masked and was unauthentic.
Yeah. Well, you weren't.
And dishonest.
I could tell you weren't listening because you were messing with that.
I didn't say I was listening. I didn't speak. I was dishonest. That's what... Here's what I learnt today. I didn't learn it today. I learnt it last week. And I'm putting you in this category, right? You know because I told you. Dear listener, get a pen and paper. I'm going to ask you to write down a 4-letter word, okay? It's a question. A question and a 4-letter word. And the question is, you've got 10 seconds to write it down. You know Asperger's, right? It's named after someone. Like, I don't know what his name is, like Donald Asperger's or whatever, right? But no, doctor.
Hair.
Well, you've given it away. The question was, what was Asperger's? Write it down. 4-letter word, beginning with N, ending in Nazi. He was a Nazi. Asperger's was a Nazi. That's why we tend not to use that term anymore. Mm-hmm. And this is a fun episode. High functioning,
educational, and
low functioning autistics. And I'm being deliberately clunking my language because this is. He would sort autistic people who have autism into high functioning, low functioning. The high functioning, hey, go work.
Useful.
Get a job. The low functioning, he would have them killed. That's what I've learnt this week. And all I'm going to say, Katherine, is you remind me of him a little bit. Now,
Bit hurtful, mate.
last week we asked, have you ever upset a celebrity? And, well, can I show you? There was a... Right, okay. And I always tweet this out. We got some messages. We'll play the messages. I always tweet this out and say, can you phone this number? And people always reply in the tweet. And it's like, I don't normally, but...
Was it a good one?
It was a good one, right? So this guy here, I won't say his name. Many years ago, I saw Mark Williams or Wilson. He was Williams, I think. He's a snooker player.
Right.
But he's atted him. Many
God,
years
why
ago...
would you do that? He's done it again.
He's done it again. I saw at Mark Will 147 outside a Hartlepool hotel. Meaning to be warm and respectful, I said something like, don't worry, your form will return. He was definitely offended and he allowed me to know it. Still annoys me, glad I was right though. And I didn't reply. I liked the tweet because I wanted to use it tonight. I thought, you've just done it again. Mark Williams, it turns out, is an utter gentleman. Because he replied, I can assure you I wouldn't have been offended, never been offended in my life. No probs. I mean, I'm filling in a lot of letters here. Maybe he was having a wee at the time. Impossible to offend me. So...
Oh, there's a rapprochement.
That's the film, isn't it? With Akira Kurosawa. Rashomon.
Very good.
Have you seen Rashomon?
No, I've heard of it, though, because I'm not completely...
Well, what did you hear about it? Because it might not tally up with what I heard about it.
I heard it was
It's a joke. If you've seen Rashomon, you'll get the joke. So, Katherine, what did we ask people last week?
Have you ever offended a celebrity?
We've got some answers. Would you like to hear them?
If I said no, would we not?
I mean,
Let's hear them anyway.
Okay, so here we go. I genuinely haven't heard these. Here we go. Oh, no, that was... I did hear that one because it was a text message. Here we go.
It's Dredge here, and
Hello,
as you can
Dredge.
imagine, I've annoyed many, many famous people.
Pauses, looks to camera.
One
Unpauses.
that springs to mind is I was in Edgware Road about to cross over, and I looked up, and standing next to me with a guitar was Robin Hitchcock.
Oh.
So I don't know, I just said to him, playing anywhere nice this evening? He went, no, and stormed off.
Oh.
Oh.
With an attitude like that, is it any wonder he hasn't been very successful?
Okay. Dredge dissed him at the end there, which I felt was unnecessary.
A sucker punch.
I don't think those guys are ever going to be friends.
No.
I don't really know much about Robin Hitchcock.
Well, it turns out that's why.
Okay. Let's try this one.
I pissed off Alex the Hurricane Higgins.
Do you know what? I could just end it there and be happy with that. Do we want to know what he did or?
What did he do to Hurricane Higgins?
Exhibition in the early 2000s. He was at his drunk and belligerent worst, having turned up hammered and aggressive.
This is Paul Bodell, friend of the show, Mr. Bodell.
Mild-mannered Paul Bodell.
He sounds really angry. It's like it's someone pointing a gun at his head and making him do this phone call.
He's tapping into a painful memory.
That's true, trauma.
Anyway, he came to the table, wearing his trademark fedora hat, and he slurred, "If anyone can beat me tonight, I'll give them my hat." I turned to my mate and said, "I hope he's brought a box with him. Look at the state of him." Anyway, Higgy overheard.
Higgy? Come on, Paul, I was on your side until the Higgy.
He gave me the mother of all mouthfuls whilst jabbing his cue at me. I just said, "I hope you've chalked the end of that, mate," and I ignored him.
I don't get the hope you chalked the end of that, mate. I don't get that.
On the end of his cue. He
Why-
was jabbing his cue at him.
Yeah.
Because...
I don't believe a word of that story. We've got one more.
You?
No, we've got
I believe
We've got
Paul
one more.
Bodell.
There we go. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Chris from London here.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Say probably a couple of times I have upset famous people.
Here we go.
I have managed to get blocked by both members of the Chuckle Brothers. I think I really upset Paul Chuckle because he was talking pro-Brexit, and I told him to cock off, which probably wouldn't have been too bad, except my Twitter account was at Barry Chuckle at the time.
Flipping heck. Flipping heck.
So I imagine being told by the person who's pretending to be your brother his views on Brexit probably not great. And the other time was I lived in Maidenhead, around that area.
not
Well, I
sorry,
lived
by
in
the way.
Slough.
I lived in Slough. I learnt kung fu in Maidenhead at the
Dojo.
It wasn't a dojo. It was the Magnet Leisure Centre. I also bought a Gary Glitter bootleg cassette at the record fair there once.
Happy memories.
Around 2004, and my partner worked at the post office in Maidenhead.
Let's get very Maidenhead
I
specific.
tell you what this is. Useless detail.
Well, that's rude.
Give us the meat.
I'm enjoying it because if it had been like where you grew up, like I don't know, a street in Newcastle or somewhere
I'm
up
not from
north.
Newcastle.
No, but you're from up north, and it's the same.
No.
You'd be like wetting yourself like I am.
Not on the electric blanket.
It's turned off.
And I went in to visit, and a celebrity that would pop up.
Did you just say I went in da-da-da?
No, I went in to visit.
Oh, right.
Please, let's make
I'm finding
this...
it hard.
I know.
It's
I know.
because he speaks Southern.
Frequently, apparently, was Rolf Harris.
Oh, I don't think we mind you saying him.
I've got so many. Please make your own jokes at home because I've got a dozen that I
Yep.
can't say.
I'd been told this and didn't really believe that he was there because I didn't know. And at some point, it was pointed out that he was there, and I went, looked around, and he was there in the queue waiting, and I went, "Holy shit, that's Rolf Harris!" And he looked at me from across the building with the dirtiest look I've ever received.
Well, you're lucky it was just a dirty look.
And I felt really bad about it until about 2013, when I felt less bad about offending Rolf Harris.
Thank you, Chris.
Have a good
Thank you, Chris. Excellent stories.
You know my mate Hapless Stew?
Yeah.
He also offended Rolf Harris. I had
Apologies
said
to
him,
Paul Harris if you're listening.
Paul Harris was not offended on that occasion. I'd said to him, probably after a few beverages, he was going to go and interview Rolf Harris. This was before the Enlightenment. And I said, "Oh, I've heard that Rolf Harris does a blue act."
Okay.
Turns out I was quite close to the truth. And he asked him about it in an interview, and he went nuts.
Chris, by the way, I recognise your voice halfway through that. Lovely to hear you, my friend.
Yes.
Lovely to hear you. Rolf Harris was at my freshers' ball, and what can I say? He was a bastard to people, and he was inappropriate with the young women. I mean, what? It's kind of, it's not the fun show.
No. And the reason I'd heard that rumour and been so surprised by it was because he was still Animal Hospital cuddly old Rolf at that point.
Yeah, got some questions. You know,
Yes.
You know, in the Bible. Do you know in the Bible?
I know some things from the Bible, but I'm not a massively au fait with it.
Do you know are you aware? Because it gets mentioned in horror films.
Go on.
The Book of Revelations.
Yeah.
You know the Book of Revelations?
No revelation.
Well done. I was going to correct you, but you corrected me, so that's
Too
that.
late.
Okay. Why does everyone say the Book of Revelations?
Because I've not read it.
Doesn't matter. You got it right, so that's that done. It's the Book of Revelation. Oh, there's a film.
Was that it? Was that literally it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Do mirrors
Have two faces.
make more light? Oh.
There's a thing.
Got you with the science.
They can set things on fire, can't they?
Okay.
That would make light.
Now back to the question in hand. Do mirrors... If I was in Han's Hall of Mirrors at the end of Enter the Dragon...
Yeah.
And
I get that reference.
I took one candle in and also had one candle in a dark room that had no mirrors in. Which room would have the most light?
The mirrory one.
So mirrors make light.
Yeah.
So let's just have
They
mirrors.
reflect light. No, they reflect what's there. So if it's
Well,
light,
does
then
it?
it will
So if I have a light in front of one mirror,
Yeah.
does that double the light? It's got you thinking, isn't it? It's really got you thinking.
You should be a teacher, but you.
Well, I don't know the answer.
A bit more because
Don't know
3 seconds do not a lesson make.
I don't know I can. Oh, watch me! I can drag this out for 3 hours. I once dragged out a whole radio show analysing the lyrics of the Pina Colada song for 3 hours.
You called it the Penis Colada song.
Yes, I did. The Penis Collider, which is that big thing they've got underground in Switzerland. Right.
That's the hard-on collider.
Okay. This is supposed to be family friendly. So does one mirror make double light.
Okay. I think you need to phone that into Mystery Hour. James O'Brien.
Okay. Because if it's true and we're trying to save energy, we got the plastic clips on, we got the yeah, by the way, Chris is in the chat, who you said you didn't understand because he speaks Southern. He's from Salford.
We should talk proper.
Both of you are masking and it's not nice, is it? If Mirror makes more light and we're trying to save the planet, this is a serious point.
Are we though?
God, you really are tonight,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yep.
We are trying to save, some of us are trying to save the planet.
Try harder.
And we got the plastic on the caps. Not allowed to hump whales anymore.
Mm-hmm. Did you say hump?
Why don't we just do mirrors?
Made out of
Make everything
glass
out,
in it.
Make everything out of mirror. One light. One heart. Let's get together and feel alright. So that's that.
We would never be able to find our way out of anywhere though, because it's all just so confusing.
Got some other talking points.
Oh, we're off to the next bit.
Do you remember when everyone went through a thing like in the 80s of wearing rugby shirts?
Yeah, I'm doing it again.
Okay.
I've got one. Big.
Okay.
Not an England one this time though. Just a standard.
I was selling some lady weights.
Mine.
I was selling
Not that kind of lady weights.
Catherine's lady weights, right? And
You know, for me, bingo wings.
you know the little one, 2.5, 1.5 and 1 kgs, right? I was selling them on Facebook Marketplace for a £5. I owe you a £5. I spent it. So for a £5, lots of interest. Lot of interest in that.
In the lady weights.
I've actually got a workbench. Speaking of fitness, I got a workbench in the boot of my car that I got for £60 from a guy because my son wants to buff up.
But is it a workbench or is it a weights bench?
What's the difference?
Well, one is for planing and one is for pumping.
This is made by Black & Decker. Have I got the wrong thing?
A bit, yeah.
And so a lot of interest in these. And then someone was interested. Well, a lot of Facebook Marketplace is full of tossers. Is it available? Can I come around and get it? Never hear from them again. Someone came around and got it. Very nice person. This person, excuse me, sorry, it's 2024.
Don't assume.
Don't assume. So this person, I'm going to read the exchange that we had. Go to, not message requests, Marketplace.
Should have prepared this off air.
I should have done. Here we go. It's from, okay. Hey, are they heavyweights? My reply, no.
Yes, they are.
What's the weights number? Biggest is 2.5, smallest is 1. Then Wasim sent me a picture of a bike. Would you be interested to buy this bike? Need gone as I need the money. Would you be interested? I replied no. How has that worked?
It's a nice bike.
I mean, it's got to be stolen, right?
Well,
Is it?
Needs gone. He needs the money.
I wouldn't buy a bike on Marketplace unless it was from an old lady. And how did they turn that around? What made them think, you know what? My favourite thing on Marketplace.
I know why. Because you've done arm day, they're thinking maybe leg day next.
My thing on Marketplace is you'll often go, I was offered, what popped up on my Facebook Marketplace was an actual flight simulator, not a game, a £10,500 flight simulator, sit-in flight, dog jet fighter.
What now?
Dog jet fighter.
Okay.
Great
That's what
name
I
for a
thought you
band.
said.
Got their first album on vinyl before they sold out. So
You reckon that's what you saw, but you couldn't prove it when I came round. You couldn't show me.
I bet if I do it on the computer,
right,
it will come up.
Wood, Donkey Kong,
Right.
antique box of weights,
Oh.
not lady weights,
How do I see my history?
spinning chair, old telephone like my grandma used
Where
to
do
have.
I see? Can I see my history of what I was looking at?
It's a dangerous
no,
game.
maybe it's not best. Maybe it's not the best idea. No, it's okay. No, it brings up big. But I clicked on one picture, and so now I get bigger women in lingerie. One picture I clicked on. God knows what that is. How do I see? Can you see your history? Manage holiday mode. Let people follow you. No, I guess.
Oh, what's the hand in a box?
Where's that?
There. Up. There.
Hand in a box from Tring for 45.
Holy shit! What is that?
It's a brass hand
In a box.
in a box with.
Show that. I think we might need it. And it's next to a crystal ball.
It's exactly the kind of stuff. This is why this is a very dangerous.
Show them.
No, because this is a podcast. They'll just have to imagine.
Show them.
No, because they'll see my postcode and I don't want them to. As much as I like these people, I don't actually.
Right, so it's an ornate box, the kind of box that Wicked Queen would ask the huntsman to put a heart in. You with me? Filigree silver, and there's a red background underneath like this. And there's a sort of faded brass hand.
There it is. There it is. The A-10 fighter jet simulator, the Tank Buster. It's in Harlow. It's on Facebook Marketplace. I'm so tempted. Because in the olden days, I'm going to calm down a bit now. I've been a bit performative. Now I'm going to be authentic. In the olden days, the flight sim round of the Krypton Factor was just like one of the sexiest things you could see on TV.
Land a plane. Well, that was computers, wasn't it? We were
We were
blinded by the
starved for
technology.
it.
Oh my god!
What?
You know, you digitised my old Look East clips.
Oh, talk about you found a VHS tape.
Yeah, when I was having a clear out last
and
week.
you said there'd be about 6. There were 14 news reports
Yeah.
that you'd done.
Super cheesy. 2003, 4-ish, I think it was. Local television news reports by me. And several times, whenever we're referring to something that is you can plug in, basically, I say state-of-the-art technology or high-tech. It's like big blocky computers. State-of-the-art CCTV system. It's like a flipping Lego one.
It's so difficult to tread, to tiptoe through the minefield. You know, life today, you know when you go into a museum to steal a diamond and you spray the thing.
Zing,
There's lasers
zing,
everywhere.
zing.
It's lasers.
Yeah.
Life is like that today. And
What? You can't say anything. Is that what you mean?
I don't know what you have to tread
What
so
can you
carefully.
say?
So can I say something?
Oh.
But you have to promise not to be offended or
Nope, I won't do that.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, no, you'd be offended.
I can't promise I won't be, but I might be.
Promise you won't be.
Nope.
I won't say it.
Chicken.
I'm not a chicken, but I won't say it.
Chicken.
I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
No, because I don't want to get cancelled. I work in the mental health field.
Who's going to get cancelled? Me? You?
No, me.
Why? What?
Because
How bad is it?
because women take offence at the slightest compliment these days.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say you looked hot doing news reports 21 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, now I've said it out loud. I feel bad saying it. We'll cut that bit out.
Do you know what it is? I looked at those videos and I thought, oh my God, I was youthful. My skin was beautiful. I looked great if only I'd known it at the time. You never know it at the time.
And now you're old and past it. So.
And now I definitely know it.
I think that may be... Oh, one more talking point. There's a film that a lot of people... Oh, by the way, the people that recommended For All Mankind, which is this TV show where it's an alternate take on history. So Russia beat America to the moon.
Yeah.
Right. Season 1, fantastic. Season 2, that was a lot of fun. Season 3, you're watching it going...
Too much.
And then the last episode, I won't spoil anything, but the pregnant lady in space... Utter balls. I switched off halfway through season 4, episode 3.
You bailed.
It's not for me. It's not for me. It's absolutely bloody ridiculous.
As we old
Waste.
folk often say, why do they have to stretch it so far? Sometimes it's just perfect as a one.
Again, I'm making my own jokes in my head about that.
Do you know what? That's progress.
I was thinking about...
Yeah, I know.
But there's a film that everyone is raving about until you start digging a little deeper, and then you realise not everyone is raving about it.
Oh yeah,
it's a
what's that film?
conspiracy.
What's the film?
Is it? It's called like Rapid Ridge, or it's something Ridge. It's got Miami Vice in it.
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. It had. Is his name John Boyega?
Yes.
He was in it, but he left. It's basically like First Blood, 21st century style. And everyone's going, this film is great. This is one of the greatest films of all time. This film is amazing. This is one of the great... And I watched it, right? And the first 30 minutes, like, okay. Then an hour into it, I thought, I think this is rubbish. I think this film is awful. Oh, that's the alarm. That's the alarm. We're coming to the end of the show. What's the song going to be today? There isn't a song today. Okay, it's just a silent alarm.
Prince is not going to be channeled through the phone today.
No, that's weird. But it was rubbish. We're out of time. You need to quickly come up with a question while I do the selling. Thank you to all our patrons. We do 3 hours of this every single week. If you want to watch the show live, if you want to get the 3-hour podcast ad-free, if you want to go back to about 1,500, 2,000 hours worth of stuff, head over to patreon.com/Iain and Katherine. It's starting at $3.99 a month. $3.99 a month. Cost of just over a coffee. You can come and join the fun and support the show. We've got a phone in for you that Katherine is coming up with now.
Yes.
So Katherine, what is this week's phone in?
Inspired by Don Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had something. You're just saying.
I'm just musing.
Inspired by Don John. I've got one if you haven't.
It was supposed to be good, but it wasn't.
If you say this show, you get blocked. It was supposed to be good. Everyone said it was good, but it wasn't. 0203 286 6370. Give us a call in the week. I don't answer that number in the week. It's closed off. Leave a voice note and you could be on the show next week. And you can call us and suggest anything apart from stuff like that. 0203 286 6370 is the phone number. That's it. That's your lot.
Bye.
Ciao.